Hello, everyone. This is Christine Barlow, Managing Editor of FC&S Expert Coverage Interpretation. And today I'm going to walk you through our new website, show you where everything is, how to navigate, and how best to find some of the things you're used to finding on the old site. First, we're going to look at the home page, which has been completely redesigned. I'd like to tell you that in designing the website, we got input from some of our super users, people who are heavy users of FC&S. And one of the things they requested is to put the question of the week at the top. So we did just that. For those of you newer to FC&S, the question of the week is a question we have received from one of our subscribers, which is a feature of FC&S. Every week we feature a different question that we received from one of our subscribers. We give you the question as it came in, the state, and the answer from the editors. We have a lot of questions stored on FC&S. And from the home page, you can see right here in the lower right-hand corner, you can go to our question of the week archive, which gives you access to all of them. You can go in date order, you can sort by name, you can put in a search term and look for questions covering a certain topic. And as you scroll down, you see from the first page, it gets you back to the end of December. So you can see a number of questions right here up front very readily. On the right-hand side, you'll notice that we have a spot to ask your questions. And this box appears in this position on most of the pages on FC&S. On the old site, it had been in a lower corner on only the home page here. If you're on almost any page, you can ask the experts a question. If you're not finding what you're looking for, feel free to ask us a question. You click on the button and you scroll down and you put in your name and your email address. It's important that you spell your email address correctly because that way we can make sure we get an answer to you. Then you scroll down, you select your line of business, and you put in your question. Now, a brand new feature is that you now have the option to attach a document. You simply select Choose File, and it will access documents on your system, and you can select whatever file you want to attach and do so, and then submit your question. At the moment, you can only submit one document, but we are going to improve that in the future. But we wanted to make sure you could attach a document. A number of users like to attach policy language if it's not an ISO form. Sometimes we get pictures, all sorts of documents. We're happy to look at whatever document you need us to look for. When you submit a question, it comes to me in real time. So what we ask you to do is we ask you to give us 5 business days to get an answer to you. Generally, it does not take that long. Generally, it's a day or two, depending on the question. But if an editor is out sick or they're out at a conference, or you have a particularly difficult question, we may want to think on it. We may want to do some research. The editors may talk amongst themselves. There may be things that we want to look at before we get an answer back to you. So that is Ask the Experts. I'm going to go back to the home page and then scroll down. On the right-hand side, our weekly newsletter is an option for you. It's part of your subscription. It's free. If for some reason you're not getting it, you can subscribe to it right here. Scrolling down, you have access to the question of the week. We like to give you access to multiple things in multiple places to make it easy. We also have Litigation Watch, and when you go to Litigation Watch, that is a court case. We review different court cases. Every week we pick out a different case, and we give you the name of the case, a brief description, and then an editor's note highlighting why we thought this case was of particular interest or particular importance. Below that, we have Fraud of the Week. The Fraud of the Weeks are just a quick paragraph as to who got caught doing what, such as the case of the burned chicken and for how much, We'll tell you where it was, what it was for. As I said, it's just a brief paragraph. An interesting fraud. Fraud is such a huge issue for the industry. We like to highlight one a week. In this one, the perpetrators were leaving chicken on the stove to burn the house down. So they were burning their chickens deliberately. Going back to the home page, as you'll scroll down, we have a section called Fast Things You Need to Know. And here we keep of the moment articles, and we also keep things for reference, such as how to navigate the new FC&S expert coverage interpretation. This article just goes over where things are, so it's a handy cheat sheet. We have an insurance dictionary here. We also have different articles that come up of the moment that we like to highlight here. Along the left-hand side, we have what's new. And here you can just see what we updated every week. We've got the question of the week up here. We may have new articles, updated articles. We've got some virus things going this week. So you'll have our articles, we'll have contract analysis, we'll have the litigation watch and the fraud of the week. The middle section is the trending section, and this we still haven't totally settled on. Currently, it's got articles that the editors select to put out here under personal lines, commercial lines, core article library. But we also have the ability to put something different here if users think something else would be better here, if they'd like to see something different, if they'd like to see what other users are looking at, to see the most popular articles reviewed on FC&S, we can do that too, or something else. We just need your input, and to give us that input, simply go ahead and put it in the Ask the Expert section, and we'll look at that and accumulate that input and see what you, the users, would like to see. So that's the front page. Now we're going to move up across the navigation page. As I said earlier, there are a number of ways to get to things. Under channels, you see we have the same old channels: personal lines, commercial lines, fraud, core article library. The core article library is what used to be called account and risk management. When we were looking at moving information over from the old site, we realized that account and risk management wasn't really the proper term, and that the articles we had in that section were truly a core article library. They were articles explaining basic topics. They are articles explaining complicated topics that crossed lines of business. They were emerging risk articles. So we have renamed that section Core Article Library. So as you scroll through, you'll see articles on the latest emerging risks, such as the pandemic, usage-based insurance, what's going on with the NRA and different insurance departments and states, weather terms, reinsurance. We keep up with the flood issues and those things. And we have a whole host of articles on emerging risks, insurance topics, the insurance dictionary, all sorts of things. We also have, for Premier subscribers, access to umbrella and D&O content. I'm going to go into personal lines to show you how the lines of business work. When you go into personal lines or commercial lines or anything else, you will see your subsections for the lines of business. So for personal lines, you've got dwelling, farm, personal auto, inland marine. And here we have a selection of articles under all these categories, but so you just want dwelling homeowners articles. So you go to dwelling homeowners and you're really only interested in homeowners. You don't want to look at dwelling today. And there you go. You have everything related to homeowners under this section. Now, you can sort by date. You can sort by alphabet. You can also filter by type of content. This is brand new to FC&S on this site. So let's take a look at that. Discussions are just that. They are discussions of a particular topic, such as a discussion on resident relatives. Who is a resident relative? Is something in other structure? Those type of things. Checklists are just that. Checklists that help you identify if you have a fraudulent claim, or checklists that help you place a particular type of business. That's what falls under checklists. Contract analysis. With contract analysis, we provide a walkthrough of the policy language. We have access to ISO forms, MSO forms. And so what we'll do is we'll break the discussions into sections. So you have a contract analysis on, for example, Section 1 conditions, because the policies are long and we don't want you to have to scroll forever. So in this particular contract analysis on the homeowner Section 1 condition, when you scroll down, you'll see a gray box, and this gray box is the actual policy language. Below that, you'll have an analysis explaining the policy language. It may be long, it may be short. It just depends on what kind of discussion it needs. We may refer to another policy. We may reference court cases. It just depends on the necessary discussion for that piece of policy language. Here, we reference a court case, reference a couple of court cases. So we'll give you a thorough discussion of all the parts of the policy. So that is what you find under contract analysis. Going back, forms are just that. They're the ISO forms. Historical lit watch, these are the litigation watches. These are all the discussions of various court cases that we have picked out. We have charts. Our charts are state-specific charts that will show you the state statutes for things like matching and insurance department regulations on various things. And the Q's and A's. In this section, you're going to get the Q's and A's for homeowners policies. So that's how you can use this section. Going to the next tab, we have resources. And this allows you to search it from the other angle. If you really only want to look at contract analysis, you can go there first and say, okay, I want to go to commercial lines. And so you click on commercial lines, and you want to look at business auto. And here you go, you have all business auto discussions or contract analysis, because that's where we went, and you can further refine from there. And see, it tells you that you're in contract analysis. You can change it. You can say, I really don't need that. That's not what I want. I want Q's and A's. You do a quick change, and now you've got all the Q's and A's. So that's how resources work. We have a glossary. We have a selection for webcasts, which we're building out. Q's and A's, it's straightforward. This gives you access to all the Q's and A's, but you can sort them by line of business. So you don't have to look at all the Q's and A's. You can look at just the personal lines questions or the commercial questions. So you can further refine it by line of business. And, so if you want to look at personal lines, auto, home, whatever, you can refine it. Looking at charts. This is where you can find our charts and checklists. So you scroll down, you see we have service classifications, class and exam exemptions, marijuana legalization by state. Just to show you that, we'll give you the state statutes, the information. And as you load more stories, you'll see bed bug laws for hotels, rejection of claims handling requirements, all sorts of various charts on a state-by-state basis. Forms, this is where you can easily access the ISO forms. So you can go to personal lines, commercial lines. You can also access the MSO forms as well. We get a lot of questions on forms and how to find forms. So I'm going to go into this a little farther. I'm going to go into dwelling homeowners. And I'm going to go into homeowners. So here you are. We've got MSO and ISO forms. And as you can see, they're coming up with a form number at the top. When we had them on the old site. This is how we referred to them. We're making some adjustments to this because as we're using this, we're realizing that it's a little different. So we want to tweak this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort by name just to change it around a little bit. You get the ISO forms first, but still, as you can see, you're getting all the ISO numbers, and we've got the titles, sinkhole loss coverage, multiple company insurance, and you're thinking, how do I find the forms on other structures? What you do, you just come to the search bar right here, you type in other structures, and there you go. You're in homeowners, so this is going to bring up every form and the endorsements for other structures. So that's how you can quickly narrow down what form you're after. If you're looking at scheduled property, you can put that in. And here you go. You get the endorsements for scheduled personal property. And you can put in whatever you're looking for in whatever line of business, and it's a great way to find your forms. This will help you get to what you're looking for, because when you come just to forms, you're like, where do I go? What do I do? You have all these forms. I can't find what I'm looking for. It gets frustrating, but you come out here, you want to look at commercial lines forms for additional insured. You're looking at commercial lines forms. And now you've got everything that references additional insureds, and you can further refine by line of business if that's what you're looking for. So that's the best way to look for forms. So Litigation Watch, this is just the section for Litigation Watch. And again, here are all the cases. And what we're doing is we're tagging them by line of business. In the old site, they were not tagged by line of business. But since we can do that now, we are working on tagging them by line of business. So if you want to look at commercial lines litigation watches for a particular line of business, you can do so. So we're working on making those designations to this. There's still a little bit of cleanup going on in here. CE in training. We have CE in training, and a lot of people don't know that. So we have a link to it here on FC&S. And when you go to the CE in training site, tab rather, you go to visit NU training, and you can look at the CE courses, which we highly recommend because a lot of folks need CE, and we are approved for CE credits in all states. So you select your state. I will go to Pennsylvania today. And then you scroll down and select what kind of CE training you're after. Property, life, health, ethics, advanced markets. You want to look at webinars. We're going to go into P&C, and voila. You see that in Pennsylvania, you can get 12 CE credits for taking the Business Auto Policy Explained class. You can get 8 credits for Commercial Property Policy Explained. And as you see over on the right, we charge $42 for those classes. So it's a great way to catch up on your CE credits, gives you excellent information written by the editors of FC&S, and it's just something we want you to know you have access to. Insurance News links to our sister publication, PC360. They keep up with the insurance news on a daily basis. They keep up with what's going on. So if you're interested, take a look out there. About Us just tells you about us. So I'm going to go into search. I'm going to search water backup because that is a popular search term, and we have some enhancements to the search capabilities. When you put in a term for search, as always, it tells you how many results there are, and there are 91 for water backup, and you don't want to scroll through all of those, but you can see it highlights your search term, water backup. So, and one of our new advancements is that as you scroll down on the left, you can filter your search. You can say, well, I really just want to look at questions and answers. So, okay, that gets you down to 23. And you're like, yeah, but I'm really into sump pumps. How do I look for sump pumps that are related to water backup? We now have an advanced search. So Our main search is water backup. We're going to look for sump pump, and we're going to search again. And so now we have 6 Q's and A's that deal with water backup and sump pumps. And shazam, there are your answers. And you can change this. You can remove the filter for Q's and A's, and you can, and see, now we're just at 29. So if you want to look at lit watches or discussions or contract analysis that mention these things, you can do that. So let's say that this is your thing, that water backup and sump pumps is your topic, and you want to know every time we post something new about it on FC&S. You simply click on follow, and it will automatically create an alert for you. You can get an alert daily. You can change it to a particular day of the week. You can select a particular time, and then you create an alert, and there you go. You have created an alert. So say a couple of months goes by, and you have learned everything you need to know about water backup caused by sump pumps. So you go into my account, and you go under my alerts, and it lists all your alerts. And you can come out here to change your alerts. Say you don't want all these alerts anymore. You want to change days. You only want your autonomous vehicle alert on Friday instead of Monday. You want dogs on Mondays. You want pandemics on Tuesdays. Whatever. You see, why do I have 2 water backups? I don't need those. I'm going to delete one. And you just delete and update, and there you go. And then you simply go back to the site, and you have your alerts all taken care of. And you're back at the home page. So that is a walkthrough of FC&S. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. You can reach me at cbarlow@alm.com. And thank you for your time.